So dear students, we are going to see OSPF simulation. So first you have to understand what do you mean by OSPF? OSPF is a Open Shortest Path First Routing Protocol. So it is used to find the shortest path between the source and destination. So OSPF is also said to be as a interior routing protocol, or we can call it as interior gateway protocol. So since it functions within an autonomous system, it is said to be as a interior gateway protocol, right? So now we can see the simulation part. So just we open the Cisco Packet Tracer. Here we have to drag the end devices in the workspace. So here I am going to simulate the OSPF routing protocol concept. For that, first I am going to take end devices. So first I will take two PC for the simulation, and next I'll take switches. So PT switch. Again I'm taking two switch. Next I'm taking a 3 router. So here I am taking a PT router. 3 routers I am going to take for performing the simulation. So here now we have arranged end devices in the workspace, right? Now we have to make a connection by using a automatic connecting cable. So this is a automatically connection type cable. So I am choosing this one for connection between the end devices. So I am connecting one PC with a switch. Same way that we are connecting each and every end devices with each other. So now I have arranged all the end devices to perform the simulation. So the connection also I have done by using the cable. So now I have to now I have to make a IP configuration. So first here I click the router, go to config for configuring the IP address. So before configuring, I have to check this router is connected using which port. It's connected using fiber optic cable 0/0, right? So you can able to see by keeping a cursor here, you can able to check this connected using which cable, fiber optic cable 0/0, right? Now click the router, go to config, click the fast 0/0. I'm giving the IP configuration as 192.168.1.1. Okay, then click the subnet mask, then switch on the port. Okay, so this IP address will be acting as a default gateway for entire entire devices connected to this router, right? That means this IP address will be acting as a default gateway for the entire process connected to this router, right? Okay, so you should have to keep remember in your mind. So I'll copy this and I'll make a note of it, right? make a note of it near to this. So I'll not forget, right? Okay. So now I have to make this entire connection as network 1 and this entire connection as network 2. Okay, so I'll make a note of it. I'll click here. I'll make this network 1 with IP address 192.168.1.0. Okay, so this entire network with the IP address of 192.168.1.0, right? Again, I'm making this entire network as network 2. So this also I'm making a note of it. So network 2, right? I'm giving the IP address for this network as 165.155.1.0. Okay, right? So now same like this router 0, we have to configure router 2 also. Okay, for that again I'll click this router. So before configuring it, we have to check which port it is connected, right? This router is connected using a fiber optic cable 0/0. So click the router, go to config, fast Ethernet 0/0. So here I'm giving the IP addresses. So before that I'll check the IP address of this network. What's the IP address of this network? 165.155.1.0, right? So I'll make this as 165.155.1.1. I'll switch on the port status. So already told the IP address of the router will be acting as a gateway for entire process connected to the router, right? So I'll copy this IP address and I'll make a note of it. Otherwise I'll forget. So again I'll make a note near to this router. Understand? So for your understanding purpose, I'll tell you, like, see here, first what we are doing for doing the OSPF simulation. First we have selected 2 PC. First we have dragged 2 PC in our space. Then we have dragged 2 switches. Then we have taken 3 routers. Yes. And after doing the entire process, we are taking the cable, automatically connected cable, for connecting all the end devices. Okay. After connecting all the end devices, now what we are doing? We have to configure the router, right? So before configuring, what we have to do? We have to check to which port the router is connected. So keep a cursor there and check it. It will display fast Ethernet 0/0. The port is connected by using a port fast Ethernet 0/0, right? So we click the router and go to config, and we are configuring the IP address with the name of 192.168.1.1. So this IP address will be acting as a gateway to the entire network. Again, I have given the network address as 192.168.1.0. Same thing we have to do for this router. We have done for this network also, right? I hope you got the clarity. Now I have to configure this processor also. So I click this PC. I have to configure. So I'll go to config. So I'll go to desktop for configuration. I'll click the IP config. Here I am giving the IP addresses 192.168.1.2. Okay. I'll click subnet mask, so it will generate again, what will be the default gateway? The gateway of, sorry, what will be the default gateway address? It is IP address of the router, right? So, what is the IP address of router? 192.168.1.1, right? 1.1, right? Okay. So now I have configured the PC. Close it. Next, I have to configure this PC also. Click PC, go to desktop, make IP configuration. What is the IP address of this PC? Check the network address 165.165.155.1.0, right? So IP address will be 165.155.1.2. I'm giving us 2. Click the subnet mask. Again, default gateway will be a IP address of router. So what's the IP address of router? 165.155.1.1, right? So 165.155.1.1, right? So now I have configured this PC also. Let's close it. Right. Now you can able to understand. Now you can able to see green signal between those network. Within the network, we are getting a green signal, right? Okay. Now I have to configure the connections between the router. I have to configure the connection between the router. So for that, first I'm making this router as router with a network address of, I'll make a note of it, with the network address of 10.0.0.1. No, I'll give it as 0. Okay. Basic address, network address is 0. Again, I'm making this network address. And this network address is 20.0.0.0. Okay. And I'm making this network address as 30.0.0.0. Okay. So after making a network address name, I have to configure the address for router, right? So before configuration, I have to check the port to which is those routers are connected. See here, this router is connected to this router by using a serial port of 2/0, right? It is connected with the serial port of 2/0. Now I have to click this one and click config, click serial ports 2/0. Here I have to set the clock. I have to set the clock rate for the router. So I am setting the clock rate at 64,000. Then I am giving IP addresses 10.0.0.1, right? Then click the subnet mask. Okay, after doing this, we have to switch on the port status, right? After doing this, I'll close this configuration. Okay. Now again, I have to configure this router. Before that, we have to check the port, right? So already we checked it is connected to the port of serial 2/0. Then click this router, go to serial 2/0. We have to make this clock rate as not set. Not set. Not set. Here I am giving the IP address 10.0.0.2. Click the subnet mask, switch on the port. Okay, then close it. Okay, now you can able to see a green signal exists between this both this routers. That means within this network connection has been established, right? So now for your understanding, again I'm telling, this router is configured with the clock rate of 64,000 and this router is configured without a clock rate. That means it is set as not set. The clock rate is set as not set. Okay. So now again I have to make a configuration between this network. So same like this network, I have to make a configuration between this network. Okay. Before making configuration, we have to check through which port it is connected. It is connected using port serial 3/0, right? So click the router, go to serial 3/0, right? So here I am configuring with a clock rate of 64,000. I'm giving the IP addresses 20.0.0.1. Then click the subnet mask. Then switch on the port status. After configuring, close it, right? Okay. Now check the serial port. This router is connected using serial port of 3/0. Again, click this router. Go to serial 3/0. We have to make this clock rate as not set. Not set. Okay, not set. IP configuration is 20.0.0.2. Then click the subnet mask. Then switch on the port status. After configuring, close it. So now you can see a connection is between this network also, right? So here I configure this router by setting a clock rate, and this one I have configured without setting clock rate. Again, when I am making this connection, I configure this router with clock rate and this one without clock rate. Now I have to make a configuration between this network. Again, I check, keep the cursor and check to which port it is connected using a port serial 2/0, right? Then click the router serial 2/0. Here I am making the clock rate to not set, and I am giving the IP address is 30.0.0.1 and click the subnet mask, switch on the port status. Okay, after that I will close the configuration. Again, before configuring this router, I'll click this, I'll make a cursor here and check the port. It is connected by using a port of serial port 3/0, right? So I'll click this router, go to serial 3/0, make this clock rate as 64,000, and here I am configuring the IP address is 30.0.0.2. Then click the subnet mask, switch on the port, then close it. Now you can able to see the entire network has been seen, can able to see with the green signal. That means a connection has been established between the end devices in the entire network, right? So now we can check whether we can able to transfer a packet from one end of device to another end of device. We can check it. So I'll take a message PDU. I'll keep here from PC0 to router PT, whether it can able to transfer or not. I'll check by using a simulation part whether the packet is transferring from PC0 to router 0, whether it can able to transfer. Check it. Yes, right. So we can able to transfer a packet from PC0 to router 0. Right, we can able to transfer a packet. Here you can see it. The transfer of packet is successful. Okay. Now again we can check. Go to real time. Now again I am taking a PDU. That means a message packet, and I am checking from PC1 to router 2. That means we can able to transfer a packet within this network, and we can able to transfer a packet within this network. Okay. Now I am checking from PC1 to router 2 whether it is transferring packet or not. I am going to check it. I'll keep a packet here. It have to transfer from PC1 to router 2. Then I'll go to simulation. I'll play the simulation part. Yes, we can able to transfer a packet within a network. Now I'll go to real time. Now I'll check. Again I'm going to take a PDU, and I'm trying to transfer a packet from PC0 to PC1. That means between a network. I'm trying to send a message between a network. This is one network and this is another network. So now go to simulation and check it, whether we can able to transfer a packet between a network or not. Check it. no, it failed. See here, failed. We can't able to transfer a packet from one network to another network. We can't able to transfer a packet. See the message, failed. Understand? So you have, then again we are going to real-time process. So you have to understand we have to give the information to the router. Router has no information regarding other networks, other network devices. So we have to give the address, we have to give the information, we have to store the address of entire devices in the router. Okay, so for that again we have to configure. So again I am going to configure the router. We are going to add address of entire devices so that we can able to transfer a packet from one network to another network. So now I'll configure. I have to configure 3 routers. So first I'll click this router 0. Okay, I'll go to CLI. Okay, here I have to give a command exit. Okay, so here I have to give router OSPF 1. I have to give a command network. What is the IP address we are using here? 192.168.1. What's the IP address we are using here? 1 dot for this network 1.0, right? 0. So this is a class C IP address. What is the opposite of class C IP address? We have to write here the default mask, opposite default mask for the class C IP address. Opposite default mask address is 0.0.0.255. Since it is a class C IP address, the opposite to class C IP address, opposite to the class C, the default mask of opposite class C IP address is 0.0.0.255. Is area 0. Okay. Enter. Again we have to check with this router what are the networks are connected. It is connected with this one, and with this network. So again I have to configure that also. Network 10.0.0.0. This is a class A IP address. So opposite to class A IP address is 255.255.255.0 space area space 0. Okay. Again it is connected to a network of this one. Okay. Okay. So again it's connected to a network of network address of this address. Okay, again that also I have to configure here. Network 20.0.0.0 space. Since it is a class A IP address, the opposite to class A opposite to class A IP address default subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0 space area 0. Enter. So now we have configured all the 3 connections. This one to which this router is connected. This router is connected to this network, and to this network. Okay, all 3 connections I have configured. So now I have to get out of it. So I am giving a command exit. Okay, now I will close it. Now I have configured this router. Now I have to configure this router. So I will check it. What are the connections connected to this router? This router is connected with this network and with this network. So we have to configure 2 networks. I'll click this router. I'll go to CLI command. First we have to type exit, enter. Next I have to type router OSPF 1. Next I have to give a command network. I have to give a command network. What's the IP address of what are the IP address connected to this router? 10.0.0.0. Since it is a class A IP address, so opposite to class A IP address, the default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 space area 0. Okay. Now this router is connected to another network. Since this router is connected to another network, we have to configure this network address also. Okay. So here network what is another network IP address? 30.0.0.0 space it is a class A IP address. The opposite to class A IP address default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 space area 0. Okay, done. Now we have configured both network connection, those connected to this router. Now I have to exit from this connection. Okay, now close this one. Now I have to configure this router. So, what are the network connected to this router? This network is connected, again this network is connected, again this network. So I'll click this one. I have to configure. So CLI1, I'll click it. First I have to type exit, get out of it, router, OSPF 1. I have to give a command network. So the IP address of this network is 165.155.1.0, right? So I'm giving here 165.155.1.0 space. Since it is a class C IP address, the opposite to class C IP address default subnet mask is 0.0.0.255 space area 0. Okay. Now I have to configure the network of this IP address. So network, I'm typing a command network 30.0.0.0 space. Since it's a class A IP address, opposite to the class A IP address default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 space area 0. Again I have to configure the IP address of another one network connected to this router. What is another one network? We have configured this network. We have configured this network. We have to configure this network also, right? Those three networks are linked to this router. Okay. So now again I have to make a configuration for this network by using command network 20.0.0.0 space. Since it is a class A IP address, opposite to class A IP address default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 space area 0. Okay. Now I have configured the entire connection connecting to the particular router, right? So okay, then after configuration I will close it. Now our entire configuration has been done. Now we can check whether we can able to transfer a packet from one network to another network. Okay, so I'll take a PDU. I have to transfer packet from PC0 to PC1. Now I'll click the simulation part. I'll play. Just we can check it. See here how a packet is transferring from one network to another network. Please check it. Yes, see here it is choosing the shortest path. It is choosing the shortest path. You can able to see, right? You can able to see it is choosing a shortest path for routing a packet from source to destination. Okay. Thank you, students. Hope everyone can able to understand. I think so. Thank you so much.